Chapter 11.
"We must find this Smurf thief," Gargamel declared emphatically as he and Azrael stormed down a crowded New York City street. Azrael hissed. "Hey, stop your complaining." Gargamel shot back. Then thinking, he added, "If I were a Smurf, where would I go?" At that moment, a well-dressed businessman came hurrying down the street, chatting away on his Bluetooth earpiece. "You there, Fancy Pants," Gargamel called out to him. "Have you seen any little blue men?" The man who hadn't paid Gargamel any attention continued the conversation he was having with a telephone colleague over his wireless earpiece. "Absolutely. What price are we talking about?" "You're selling them?" Gargamel asked, delightfully surprised. Just then, a young woman, also talking on her wireless earpiece, crossed the street right in front of Gargamel. "Have you looked in the drawer, sweetie?" Gargamel went after her. What drawer?" "In the kitchen, Lily," the woman replied. "Lily? Who is this Lily?" Gargamel wondered aloud. Just then, a man wearing a plaid shirt and leather work boots answered his question. "Are you kidding me?" he told the person on the other end of his wireless earpiece. "She's like the hottest girl in my department." Gargamel grabbed the man's arm, forcing him to stop. "Please, young woodsman, what does the temperature of this Lily have to do with finding the Smurfs?" The guy yanked his arm away. "Take your meds, man." "What? Is everyone in this realm completely insane?" Gargamel asked his cat. As he asked the question, a homeless person bumped right into him. All the man's possessions were stuffed into a shopping cart. "Ah, thank the gods, a local wizard. Excellent!" Gargamel exclaimed. "Pardon me, wise sir. By any chance, have you seen any little blue men?" The homeless person had a crazy look in his eyes. "They're everywhere," he reported. "I knew it! I told you we're close, Azrael," Gargamel said confidently to his pet. The cat simply rolled his eyes. In the Winslow's apartment, Papa gathered the Smurfs in the living room to hand out Smurf berries. "Now take just one. We have to be careful to make sure our Smurf berries last." "Great," Grouchy said ironically. Then he popped one in his mouth. "We're gonna be here how long?" "Not long." Papa gave Smurfette her berry. "I have a plan. First, we have to get a stargazer. Next, find a book of spells, and then Smurf a portal, and we're home. Very simple, my little Smurfs." The second the Smurfs ate their berries, the color of their skin immediately improved to a richer, darker, healthier blue. Papa put away the bag just as Patrick entered the living room, dressed for work. "Ooh, someone looks Smurfalish," Smurfette cheered. "Why are you wearing a leash?" Gutsy wanted to know. "It's a tie," Patrick replied, tugging the knot a little bit tighter. "Does it keep your neck warm?" Grouchy wondered aloud. "No, it's—" Patrick paused, having trouble finding the words to explain. Brainy helped, thinking he had found the most logical reason. "Clearly, it functions as an aid in his craft, like a blacksmith's apron." "No, I wear it because it's what everyone wears to work," Patrick said. The Smurfs stared at him, confused. Gutsy had another question. "What are ye, you pasty giant?" Patrick shook his head. "I try to get people to buy things by analyzing market trend predictions and—" "Predictions?" Brainy exclaimed. That was a job he was familiar with. "Aha! He's a fortune teller." With a deep breath, Patrick gave up. "Not exactly. Look, I would love to explain, but I'm super late and I gotta go." He began gathering the things he needed to take to work. Grace entered the room in a hurry, too. She slipped on her shoes and rushed to put the finishing touches on her outfit. Smurfette's eyes went wide. "What? You had one outfit on, and now you're wearing something completely different, she exclaimed with amazement. Papa put his hand on Smurfette's shoulder. Now, Smurfette, he said softly, she probably got the other one dirty. Let's not embarrass her. Smurfette nodded, glancing away from Grace. Oh, sorry, she said. Clumsy climbed onto the table where Grace was searching for keys in her purse. Thanks for letting us stay in your mushroom, Miss Grace. It's really nice. Grace grinned. Why, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I love our little mushroom, too. She turned her eyes toward Patrick and lowered her voice. But somebody wants a bigger mushroom. Smurfette was shocked. But then you'd be farther apart. You said it, sister, Grace laughed. Okay, I've got to run to an appointment. We've got a baby on the way. All the Smurfs smiled, but Smurfette's smile was the brightest. Patrick turned to Grace. We can't leave them here alone without an adult, he implored. Papa assured Patrick that they'd be fine on their own. I'm 546 years old. Patrick took a deep breath. Of course you are, he finally replied. Grace kissed her husband goodbye. They'll be fine. Okay, love you. Patrick gave Grace a quick kiss. Grace waved at the Smurfs, then hurried out the door. Snagging the computer off the table, Patrick also headed out. Before leaving, he turned back to the Smurfs. By the way, I wouldn't go anywhere if I were you. Why not? Smurfette asked. Our world doesn't do well with visitors from other places. Seeing that the Smurfs didn't get what he was implying, Patrick offered up an example. I mean, look what happened to E.T. The Smurfs stared at him, jaws hung open. He continued, sure they'd recognize the character sooner or later. E.T., the movie, the moving picture, the book? Still nothing. Just stay, okay? He concluded. With that, he shut the door to the apartment, leaving the Smurfs alone. Great, Grouchy said, flopping back into the sofa. He's gone and we still don't have a stargazer. Wait a Smurf. Brainy just had a brilliant idea. If he's a fortune teller, he reads stars all the time. Ergo, it's at his place of business. Papa gave Brainy a pat on the back. Excellent work, Brainy. Gutsy looked at Brainy with admiration. What are we waiting for? A Smurfitation? Let's ride! Yeah, come on, guys, Clumsy added enthusiastically. Come on, Smurfs, to the window, Gutsy advised. Papa, too, was excited to find them a way home. Let's go get that stargazer. The Smurf started out the window. Before he could even reach the sill, Clumsy tripped over his own feet and fell backward onto the couch. Everyone turned to stare at him. The fall had been a reminder of Clumsy's unstable feet and the trouble they could cause in this dangerous new realm. Papa Smurf turned to the fallen Smurf. Clumsy, I think it might be best if you stay here. You know, Smurf and I on the mushroom. Papa was trying to be nice, suggesting that watching over the Winslow's mushroom was an equally important job. But Clumsy got the message, loud and clear. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, he answered bravely, though inside he was hurting. He backed away from the window and took a seat on the couch. This way, Smurfs, Gutsy called, directing everyone out the fire escape. Let's follow Mr. Winslow, Papa announced halfway out the window. As Clumsy watched the others climb down the ladder, one by one, he tried to encourage himself to stay upbeat. Yeah, he reiterated. I can Smurf an eye on the mushroom. Gutsy was the last to jump out the window onto the fire escape. Smurf-a-leg, he called down to his fellow Smurfs who had gotten a head start. Brainy looked over the edge. Can you see him? Is he down there? He asked. Far below at street level, Gutsy spotted Patrick standing at the curb, piling his boxes into a taxi. "He's getting into a mechanical wagon," he reported. "Oh no," Smurfette said. She knew that if they didn't hurry, they might not catch up with him. Brainy was quickly calculating the probability. "Clearly that distance is too great to—" "Off ye go!" Gutsy interrupted, kicking Brainy off the fire escape with one swift boot. After all, they didn't have any time to waste. "No! Gutsy!" Brainy screamed, passing floor after floor in midair. "Goodbye, Blue World!" Gutsy was the next to leap. "Come on, Smurfs!" Their shouts echoed in the wind. "Quickly! Smurfabanga! Use your hat as a chute, you ninny!" It was hard to tell who was saying what. They were all falling so fast, except for the unmistakable voice of Grouchy. "Couldn't we have just taken the stairs?" Finally, 5 white, floppy parachute hats carrying the Smurfs fluttered gently down atop Patrick's cab. It was a perfect landing, but Brainy was still mad about having been pushed. "Not funny, Gutsy," he scolded. "It was a little funny," Grouchy added his 2 cents in, chuckling. "Shh, Smurfs." Papa put a finger to his lips. They all quieted down as the taxi moved away from the curb and into traffic. Like they had done on their first taxi ride, the Smurfs managed to blend in with the rooftop advertisement, helping them keep cover from anyone's prying eyes. Suddenly, the cab skidded to a screeching halt. Inside the cab, Patrick's eyes shifted up towards the car's roof. Did he just hear something up there?